So the Eightfold Path, in a way, can be thought of as everything that the Buddha ever taught. That all of the Pali Canon and all of the words and all of the statues and all of the rigmarole and all of these videos and all of everything that's coming out of my mouth is basically the Eightfold Path. There is an argument to be made for that, and it's one that I really like, because I honestly believe is that if you can get the Eightfold Path as a part of your daily life, every day, every moment, every second of your life, you are doing the best you can to follow these 8 incredibly difficult but simple ideas, then you will make your life much easier. Really, you really will. So you don't have to take my word for it. I mean, the truth is that the Buddha said the same thing. It's a suggestion, try it out, see if you like it. And if it works out for you, great. If it doesn't work out for you, there's tons of practices out there. The most important thing is that you become a happy, compassionate, loving, kind, wise individual. That's really all that matters. Buddhism may not be for you. It's not for a lot of people. A lot of people find it sad. They say that the Four Noble Truths, they find it to be sad that the first truth is life is difficult, life is painful, life is unsatisfactory. Some people actually translate that word dukkha as to mean life is suffering. I actually think that there's a difference between pain and suffering, and we'll get into that when we go back into the Four Noble Truths, which we'll be doing probably in the next video. So, the Eightfold Path, what is it? It is a eight steps, or it's not steps, because steps seem like there's a hierarchy or a continuum, like you start at 1 and you end at 8. It's 8 suggestions for your life. And when you do one, to do one well, most of the others will fall into place too. Like right speech. To have right speech, one must also have right action, and one must also have right intention, and one must also have right effort. And really, if you really want to talk about some other things that affect your speech, you might want to get into anger issues. So that includes right mindfulness, knowing something about what's happening in here. So let's just get into it. Let's talk about it. What are they? So the Eightfold Path is divided into 3 sections. The first section is the wisdom section. It's called wisdom because you have to do it up here. So the first section is right view. Right view is understanding the Four Noble Truths, which is why I said the next video would probably be me going over the Four Noble Truths in a different way. It will be. And the second of the Eightfold Path is right intention. Right intention is the idea that I accept the Four Noble Truths, and so now I intend to do something about my part in making my life less difficult. And so I am going to move into this practice of the Eightfold Path. The next section is called ethics, and there's 3 for the next 2 sections. Ethics, right speech, right action. Right action is actually the precepts. So right action is like non-harming. Don't take that which is not freely given. Avoid sexual misconduct, and avoid intoxicants. And people generally like to talk about those last 2, especially the intoxicant one. And we're going to get deep into all of these things. Then the next one, the fourth of the Eightfold Path is right action. I'm sorry. The fifth of the Eightfold Path is right livelihood. How you make your living. Right now, a lot of us are losing our jobs left and right, and probably would like almost any job. Some of us. The Buddha said that wanting almost any job is not the best way, but it is a way. If you're trying to support your family, you're going to go out and get the job that you can get. So, yeah, but right livelihood means that there are certain jobs that the Buddha and those of us who teach Buddhism would want to avoid. And it's like, don't sell weapons, don't deal in intoxicants and drugs, don't cheat people. Maybe even nowadays we might even say pay a living wage, which is, so it's the Buddha didn't say pay a living wage. The Buddha said avoid taking advantage of people or dealing in slaves and those who have been taken advantage of. Right effort, that's number 6. When we decide that we're going to do the Eightfold Path, we want to put our bodies into it. We want to put our energy into it. So that's the practice for right effort, is we want to put energy into it. If we don't have enough effort, if we don't have enough practice, we can't get to where we want to be. So right effort is actually practicing the Eightfold Path, knowing the Four Noble Truths, practicing meditation if that is on your agenda, etc. Right mindfulness. So now we're into the meditative section, and right mindfulness is just awareness. There's a definition of mindfulness, which is paying attention on purpose without judgment. That's one of my favorite definitions for mindfulness. Paying attention on purpose without judgment. When we get to this one, there's a couple of practices that we'll try together, and that'll help us to understand what mindfulness really means. It's thrown around a lot nowadays. When I was studying this, mindfulness really wasn't something that was in the zeitgeist like it is now. But it's kind of great because people think that mindfulness and meditation are the same things, and I'm going to say that they're not. And as we get down further into the Eightfold Path, I will explain to you why I think that. And the last of the Eightfold Path is right concentration or right meditation. So that's why. Mindfulness and meditation are separated in the Eightfold Path, and they are separated in my mind. But in a lot of people's minds, they are not. And we'll talk about that as we get further along. So that's the Eightfold Path. Thank you for your kind attention, and thank you for listening and at least considering that this might be for you. Be well, and I'll see you in the next one.